Gallop! Oh! Fort Laramie. Fort Laramie, starring Raymond Burr as Kaptan Lee Quince. Specially transcribed tales of the dark and tragic ground of the wild frontier, the saga of fighting men who rode the rim of empire, and the dramatic story of Lee Quince, Captain of Cavalry.
Well, I still don't understand it, Captain.
I don't imagine the War Department worries itself about what you and I think, Gorse.
What I mean is, it only makes plain sense that a troop of men ought to be called a troop, not a company.
What's wrong with company, Sergeant?
I don't know, Captain, but it kind of makes us out to be an infantry outfit, don't it?
That bothers you?
I joined the cavalry, not a bunch of road builders and day laborers.
I'm not sure Captain Lawson and his men would like to hear themselves called that.
Well, I didn't exactly mean any disrespect to him, sir. I know any frontier post ought to have some infantry stationed on it. But I just think somebody ought to get around to changing the designation company.
A good enough name during the Civil War.
I guess so.
Oh, cheer up, Gorse. May take 'em 10 years, but sooner or later they'll change it. And I'll be commanding a troop instead of a company.
Yes, sir. I'll be a whole heap older by 85, and I'll sure feel better about it.
All right, Sergeant. Have Corporal Mercer make out some copies of this, then post one at the saddler shop, another at the AQM stores.
Yes, sir. Captain?
What is it?
Looks like Lieutenant Seibert's and the men coming through the main gate now, sir.
Yeah, they're about 7 hours late. Come on. We'll go meet them.
Platoon! Out! Prepare to dismount! Dismount!
That's pretty ragged.
Yes, sir.
Sergeant Glasser, take over. Dismiss the platoon.
Sergeant Gorse, have Lieutenant Seibert's report to the orderly room as soon as he's free.
Yes, sir.
Well?
Captain,
What is it, Gorse? Say it out.
Lieutenant Seibert's is awful young, and he come here straight from the point.
I know that, Sergeant. You want me to be patient with him, that it?
Something like that, sir.
This is Indian country, Gorse. There's not time for a man to be young. I've been patient with him for 3 months now.
Yes, sir. But there's something else this time.
What's that?
His column out there's one man short.
I can see the empty saddle, too, Sergeant. Just have the lieutenant report to me.
Yes, sir.
Lieutenant Seibert's reporting the captain is ordered.
Stand at ease, Mr. Seiberts. You've just completed a fairly routine mission, Mr. Seiberts. That correct?
Yes, sir.
If I recall, your orders were simply to take a platoon from B Company, proceed along the wagon road to Fort Collins, accept delivery of 60 remounts from Garrison Quartermaster, and return to Fort Laramie.
Yes, sir. That's correct.
You were to hold strictly to the route assigned, avoid all contact with Indian irregulars or any action which might provoke hostilities or reprisals. Were those your orders or not?
Yes, sir. They were.
Were they clear? Did you understand them?
Yes, sir, but...
Just ride to Fort Collins and bring back 60 horses. Those were your orders. Now, why didn't you carry them out?
I did, sir, until circumstances changed things.
Circumstances never change an order. The most it can do is alter the way you carry it out. All right, let's take a look at the way you carried out your orders.
Sir,
Up until last night when you bivouacked, everything had been normal. Then, during the night, a band of Indians jumped you and got away with 35 head of horses. Why? Because you'd already violated one order, a standing order applying to all night camps in Indian country, to use 4 sentries on the picket line and 4 more out in the points. You'd only posted 3 altogether.
we were only 4 hours from the fort, sir. I thought...
Then you violated 3 more orders. You sent a detail into the fort with the horses you had left, and you led the rest of the column in pursuit of the Indians.
But, sir,
In doing so, you left your assigned route, you made deliberate contact with the Indians, and you committed an act you knew would provoke hostilities. In fact, you did everything but tear up your orders and feed them to your mount.
But they'd stolen the horses, sir, and those horses had been placed in my charge. I couldn't let them get away with it.
Why couldn't you? You're an officer of the United States Cavalry, Mr. Syberts. You're not permitted the privilege of getting mad and hitting back. We've got a job to do out here, a tough one. To keep order over an area of 10,000 square miles, and to do it without men or the guns we need.
I know that, sir.
We're sitting on a powder keg, Lieutenant, every minute of the day and night, and don't you ever forget it. Just because some Indian strikes a match, that gives you no excuse to light one in return. That clear?
Yes, sir.
You brought back an empty saddle. How'd it happen?
We were ambushed, sir. Private Linley was killed in the first volley. Corporal Dean and Private Wagner were wounded. We killed 2 of the hostiles before withdrawing.
Did you bring in Linley's body?
I'm sorry, sir. We were unable to recover it.
All right, that's all, Lieutenant.
Yes, sir. Captain Quince, shall I expect a board of inquiry?
That's up to the Major.
Sir, won't he go by your recommendation?
I can't be expected to cover up for every green lieutenant who comes off the point. I'll give him the facts.
Without recommendation?
That'll be all, Mr. Syberts.
Yes, sir.
Now, just a minute, Captain. You can't expect to cover up for every green lieutenant who comes off the point.
And I wouldn't attempt it, Major, but I still accept full responsibility for Mr. Sybert's actions.
Actions. The way I hear it, unofficially, of course, he simply lost his head, violated his orders.
Maybe I didn't make the orders clear to him, sir.
Clear to him. How could he possibly misunderstand a simple mission like that?
He's young, Major. We do things different out here on the frontier. It takes a while to ease into it.
We haven't got a while.
He'll realize that, sir.
Left his route, attacked a band of Indians, and Lord knows what else.
Major Daggett, you asking me for a detailed report?
Yes, of course I'm asking for... Oh, no. No, by heaven, you've already accepted responsibility. I don't want to know the details, at least not officially.
Whatever you want, sir.
You mean whatever you want? Confound it, Lee. You mother that troop of yours like an old hen with a flock of chicks.
Yes, sir.
You'll take them out in the woodshed and whale the daylights out of them yourself, but you'll be hanged if you'll ever let the neighbors find it.
Yes, sir.
All right, you've accepted responsibility, so I'll let it go at that.
Good.
Provided you also accept the responsibility for pulling us out of the fire. A band of renegades, whoever they were, have attacked a cavalry column, stolen 35 horses, and killed a trooper. If they get away with it, more Indians will jump reservation and join up with them.
I think we can prevent that, Major. With your permission, I'd like to have a try at it.
What'll you need?
40 picked men from B Company, a second in command, and half a dozen of the best Indian scouts at the fort. Quanto for one, Dancing Fox, and maybe Will Granby and Pete Hazen.
All right. Who'll you take as your second? Peterson?
No, sir. Lieutenant Syberts.
You're handicapping yourself.
I'd like to move out by 1 o'clock. That way a forced march will put us at the site of the ambush before dark.
All right, Captain Quince. Make your arrangements.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, and Captain,
Yes, sir?
good luck.
Thank you, sir. Sergeant Gores,
Yes, sir?
just what do you find so funny?
What? Nothing, Captain. Nothing at all.
Prepare to dismount! Prepare to dismount! Dismount!
Lieutenant Seibert's reporting, sir. We're ready to move out on order.
Good. Sergeant Gorse?
Yes, sir?
What do the scouts say?
Quanto talked with the scouts that were with the lieutenant at the ambush, sir. He's pretty sure they're a bunch of Cheyenne, Bison clan, with Squaw Dog leading them.
Squaw Dog. How many braves?
Around 30, sir. And Quanto thinks they won't be very far away.
I agree with him. This time of year, they're not likely to go north of the Laramie Mountains or west of the Sweetwater Ridge. 10 to 1, they'll hole up somewhere in the Butte country this side of the Laramie foothills.
Well, that's what Quanto thinks, too, sir.
All right, Sergeant. Tell Quanto and the other scouts to move out. They can cut the sign at the side of the ambush before the column arrives. We'll be there at 5.
Yes, sir. Quanto, you and Will Granby move out.
All right, Mr. Syberts. Post.
Column! Column! Check! Prepare to mount! Prepare to mount! Mount! The guide is left, soldier.
Scouts have moved out, sir.
Right, Sergeant. You, get coffee this morning, Gorse?
Yes, sir.
I'm glad. I have a feeling it might be a spell before you get any more. Mr. Sybert,
Yes, sir.
you will move out with a point. Once we clear the fort, you will deploy the men as skirmishers.
Yes, sir.
By the column of 2's left. On the guidon. Forward!
Forward! Forward!
Ho!
Captain,
What is it, Gorse?
I sure do like getting out in the open air now and then.
I just hope you feel that way 2 days from now.
I think I will, sir. I think I will.
Lieutenant Seibert's reporting, sir.
Yes, Lieutenant?
I've checked over the mounts, sir. They're standing it well, all in good shape. Private Harrison's mount has a stone bruise, not serious.
Fine. You got a match, Syberts?
Yes, sir. Here you are.
Thanks. Sit down. Rest your feet.
Thank you, sir. Captain, may I ask what the plans are?
We'll let the men rest here till midnight, then push on north following the river. Unless Quanto or one of the other scouts makes contact before then.
And after that, sir, when we find Squaw Dog and his men.
No plans. At least no detailed plans. As a matter of information, Lieutenant, or instruction, as you might say, I'm operating under one general order. To get the horses back, punish the Indians responsible for stealing them and for killing Private Linley, and do it without starting a blood feud.
You pardon my saying it, sir. It sounds like a difficult mission.
Most of the jobs the cavalry does out here are difficult, Lieutenant. In time, you'll realize that.
I'm beginning to, sir.
Hope so.
Who goes there? Advance and be recognized.
1, 2, go.
Captain Quince, it's Quanto, sir.
Over here! Any luck, Quanto?
Much luck. Fine squaw dog.
Where?
Upriver at Ponowico Fork, 1 mile west. Camp in Buttes.
Ponowico Fork. And a forced march, we can make it before dawn. Corporal Mercer, get my horse.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Syberts, I'm going to ride out with Quanto and get a look at him. You'll take command of the column.
Yes, sir.
Have the men tie down their bridle chains, muffle all equipment. Stay by the river, but keep moving. Wait at the fork if I haven't rejoined you. Sergeant Gorse knows where it is. That clear now?
Yes, sir.
All right, Quanto, lead out. Carry on, Lieutenant.
Yes, sir. Bugler! Sound boots and saddles.
Yes, sir.
Sergeant Gorse!
Yes, sir.
We'll move out in 10 minutes.
Well, that's them, all right, Lieutenant. If it was anybody else, a point flanker would have stopped them.
Wonder what he plans to do.
I just wouldn't know, sir. I never try to outguess the captain.
Good officer, Sergeant Gorse.
You couldn't find any better, sir. When we got a little time, I want to tell you something else about him.
Made good time, Mr. Syberts.
Thank you, sir.
Be full dawn in about half an hour. Things are working out fine. There are about 30 of them camped in a narrow ravine between those 2 buttes there to the west.
Luck sure is with us, Captain.
The ravine's about 150 yards long. Only way out's at either end. Sides are too steep to climb. So here's what we'll do. Sergeant Gorse will send 4 men to each of those 2 buttes. They'll climb on foot, take positions on the rim of the ravine looking down on Squaw Dog's camp. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Lieutenant, you'll take 12 men and circle south to come up on the far side of the buttes. You'll approach on foot, establish a skirmish line to command the mouth of the ravine. It's all broken ground. There's plenty of cover. You'll have 20 minutes to get in position. That clear?
Yes, sir.
I'll move in, cover this end of the ravine. You'll fire at will on your own discretion as soon as you hear my guns open up. And with this point in mind, don't kill a single Indian unless you have to keep from being overrun.
But, sir...
That's an order, Lieutenant. This whole operation has just one purpose. I want Squaw Dog to realize one thing fast, that he's trapped, and that we can kill him and every one of his braves if we so choose. After that, we'll just see what happens. That clear to both of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, move out.
It's 20 minutes now, Captain.
Then we'll assume Syberts is in place. All right, Sergeant, let's wake him up.
Yes, sir.
Prepare to fire. Ready? Fire!
Hit him again, Sergeant.
Ready? Fire! At the ready, hold!
Well, that ought to show him it'll be a little rough trying to come out this end.
He ain't even going to try it, sir. Not one brave has shown up at the end of that ravine. There go the boys up on the rim.
That'll give him something else to think about. Well, he ought to run into Syberts down there at the far end any second now.
There he goes now.
We've stopped firing. We've turned him back. Well, Gorse, I guess we can settle back now and wait.
What do you figure Squaw Dog's going to do, sir?
I know what I'd do. I'd hightail it out here and talk things over. You got a match, Sergeant?
No, that to be not.
If Squaw Dog wishes to say something to the captain, let him get off his horse and speak the English he learned in mission school. And let him hand me his rifle.
Squaw Dog, ask why it is white man's soldier attack peaceful hunting party.
Is it possible Squaw Dog thinks I'm a fool?
All Cheyenne know. Captain is wiser of all men.
Then is it possible that Squaw Dog has lost his eyesight and gone blind?
Squaw Dog sees like the eagle.
Then why can't he see 35 horses in there, in that ravine, with the mark of the white man's government on their flanks? Or is it possible that some of the chief's braves have made a fool of him?
A fool?
Could it be that some of them have stolen horses and killed a soldier of the white man's army, and Squaw Dog knows nothing about it? Could it be that they've lied to you? Told you they traded for the horses? Are you a chief, Squaw Dog? Or a fool whose men laugh at him behind his back?
I am a chief.
Then why are you not able to control your men? Why are they able to fool you so easily? Have you lost your authority?
I am chief.
If you were chief, you would identify the guilty men and punish them yourself. Why is it necessary for the white man's army to do your job for you?
I do not know who does this thing.
Well, I'll give you 5 minutes to find out. And if you can't, then we'll look for the guilty men with bullets. And a bullet has no eyes, Squaw Dog. It can't tell the guilty from the innocent.
How many brave you say do this thing?
I don't know. But one trooper was killed. I'd say it would take about 4 braves to kill a trooper.
Squaw Dog, go now.
Just 5 minutes. And when you come out, leave the government horses in the ravine and leave your rifles there, too.
We do not keep rifle.
You do not. It may help remind you to supervise your braves more closely in the future. Now get going.
The 5 minutes are just about up, Captain.
Yeah. He may decide to fight, but I was hoping he'd take the bait.
He took the bait, Captain.
Yeah. Well, it's rough justice, but it's better than a blood feud and a punitive campaign by a full regiment.
There they come, sir. They're riding out.
All right. Let Mr. Syberts know he can follow him through.
Yes, sir. Bugler, sound recall. Well, they probably shot the 4 oldest.
Probably. Have Squaw Dog and his braves stand by till Lieutenant Syberts gets here. He took part in the action. He has a right to share the surrender.
Yes, sir.
Guilty braves are punished. Squaw Dog is free to go now.
Yes? You have my permission.
Now go. Kilani.
Oh, just one more thing, Squaw Dog. Every chief should have a rifle, but you have none.
No.
I will permit you to have a rifle, Squaw Dog. Here, take this one. Now, go in peace.
Peace. Boy, Ginya.
That bloody old reprobate.
Revenge is a luxury out here on the frontier, Sergeant. Better this way in the long run.
Captain, why'd you give him back his gun?
Because that gun will break his back, Lieutenant. He took that rifle off of Trooper Linley's dead body. I saw the serial number. That made him a big man with the clans. But then we outfoxed him, forced him into a spot where he had to execute his own braves to save his skin. And as a final gesture of contempt, I gave him back the gun. That'll break him. It'll save lives in the long run. They'll laugh him off the reservation before the month's out, and... What's wrong, Lieutenant?
I caught a bullet, sir. One of the Indians at the other end of the ravine. It's not serious.
Why didn't you get attended to?
Well, I had direct orders to report to you at once,
A
sir.
bullet wound's an exception, Lieutenant. Go find Corporal Grayley and get him to dress that.
Yes, sir.
Oh, Lieutenant.
Yes, sir?
About that board of inquiry.
I heard about it, sir.
Who from?
Sergeant Gorse, sir.
Gorse?
Captain, he's going to do all right. He'll make a good soldier.
He'll do better than that, Sergeant. He'll make a good cavalryman.
Fort Laramie is produced and directed by Norman MacDonald and stars Raymond Burr as Lee Quince, Captain of Cavalry, with Vic Perrin as Sergeant Gorse. The script was specially written for Fort Laramie by Les Crutchfield, with sound patterns by Bill James and Ray Kemper. Musical supervision by Amerigo Marino. Featured in the cast were Harry Bartell, Jack Moyles, Joseph Cranston, and John Daner.
Company, tension! Dismiss!
Next week, another transcribed story of the Northwest frontier and the troopers who fought under Lee Quince, Captain of Cavalry. Now, a public service message from CBS Radio. In time of flood or fire or other disaster, feeling sorry for the victims is not enough in itself to help those victims resume their normal ways of life. When disaster strikes, someone must be on the spot and on the job to help. And with your support, the Red Cross will be on the job wherever and whenever emergencies arise. Join and serve your local Red Cross chapter now and enjoy knowing that your membership and your contributions are helping people when a need arises throughout the months ahead.
At the gallop! Follow!
Fort Laramie. Fort Laramie, starring Raymond Burr as Kaptan Lee Quince. Specially transcribed tales of the dark and tragic ground of the wild frontier, the saga of fighting men who rode the rim of empire, and the dramatic story of Lee Quince, Captain of Cavalry.
Mr. Syberts! Mr. Syberts!
Yes, Captain.
Waste enough fire at this range. Pass the word. Men are to flank the canyon, dig in, and hold their positions.
And their fire, sir?
Cease fire.
But they'll think we've quit, sir.
I hope they do, Mr. Syberts.
Yes, sir. Captain, what about your leg?
It's fine. Now pass the word, Mr. Syberts.
Right away, sir. Cease fire. Cease fire. Flank the canyon, dig in, hold your position. Cease fire.
Gorse! Sergeant Gorse!
Yo!
Right here, Captain.
Give me a hand. Behind that boulder.
Yes, sir. Can you bear weight on that leg?
I can get behind that boulder.
Are you easy now, sir?
Don't know when I've been more comfortable.
If you're dry, I got part of a canteen here.
No, save it. You'll need it.
Captain, there's a clearing about 100 yards back. We got the horses back there. Harrison and me together get you there.
I'm fine here, Sergeant.
You'd rest a mite easier there, sir.
Maybe you ought to take up nursing, Gorse. You're developing a fine manner for it.
Well, sir, I reckon it's all this easy living. It's kind of got me soft.
Go back to your position, Sergeant, and dig in.
Flanking the canyon this way, you must be figuring them Injuns will try another run-through.
No use 40 men spreading thin against 200-300 Arapaho.
Yes, sir.
Go on back, Gorse. Send Lieutenant Syberts here.
Right, sir.
Lieutenant? Lieutenant Syberts. Captain Quince.
You sent for me, sir?
Men have their orders.
All down the line.
How about ammunition?
We've enough, sir.
What's enough?
Well, sir, I
Enough
think...
to lead a charge down the canyon and run them off?
No, I don't believe so.
Enough to hold our ground here and stand off an assault?
That would depend on the size of the assault. Now,
Mr. Syberts, there are at least 200 Arapaho firing what's left of our camp down there. I want to know if we can hold these positions.
Not long, sir. Not if they turn on us full force.
Then we don't have enough ammunition, do we, Mr. Syberts?
No, sir, I guess not. What do we do, Captain?
Sit here. Hope they think they wiped us out in their last run-through.
That why you ordered the men to hold their fire?
That's why.
They're riding off, Captain.
Don't look like they counted us too important, Captain Quince.
That a complaint, Sergeant?
No, sir. I was born plain insignificant. I mean to stay that way.
Help me get the captain back to the clearing, Sergeant. His leg needs
Now,
attention.
wait a minute, Mr. Syberts. We can't waste any more daylight. You have 6 hours of good riding left before nightfall.
Sir, you can't ride hard. You've lost a lot of blood.
The patrol's going back to the fort under your command, Mr. Syberts. Harrison and I'll take it in easy stages.
We can't leave you here,
Mr.
sir.
Syberts, you'll reach Fort Laramie tomorrow night, if you're lucky. Major Daggett needs a full report as soon as possible.
Captain Quince, sir, we could strap you in your saddle.
No need for that, Sergeant. I'd slow you up, and Major Daggett needs that report. Now, send Harrison to me. Prepare to move out.
I know this country better than Harrison, Captain.
Mr. Syberts will need you, Gorse. This will be good experience for my orderly.
Yes, Captain.
Patrol, report to the clearing. Check your mouth.
Well,
Prepare to move out.
good luck, Mr. Syberts.
All of you, patrol.
Thank you, Captain.
Report to the clearing now.
Good luck to you, sir.
You're all played out, aren't you, sir?
There's fresh water ahead. To the left there. That clump of trees.
You can't go on just water, Captain.
Well, it'll help. We can water the horses, too.
Not much sunlight left. I hoped we'd find a settler where we could bed down for the night.
This is Arapaho country, Harrison. They routed out most of the settlers.
They sure got away acting like they own the place, don't they? Running off white men.
They were here first. I guess they got a funny idea that makes it their land.
If we'd have had the whole company back there, we'd have run through them, sure. Showed them whose land it is.
Well, it would take an awful good company. Those were dog soldiers leading that raid.
Dog soldiers?
Toughest fighters in the tribes. Handpicked for their daring. Hote Mintanio.
How's that, sir?
That's the Cheyenne name for dog soldiers. But most Plains Indians have a select band like them. Sioux and the Arapaho.
Oh. Guess we were smart to take cover in that canyon, Captain.
Yeah, I guess we were. In through the trees, Harrison. Good grass there by that stream.
I'll be right there to lend a hand, sir.
Stand to steady me as I come over on this leg, Harrison. It won't bear weight.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Oh.
Guess I'm weaker than I thought.
Now, don't you worry, Captain. I got bull strength. Here, let me help you. Now, you just sit back against this tree. There. How's that, sir?
All right, Harrison. Thanks.
I'll get you some fresh water. You gone all white.
I'm all right. I'll ease those cinches and lead the mounts down to the stream and water them. Go on. I just need to catch my breath. Rest a bit.
I sure wish I could make you right comfortable, sir. In bed with food and all.
I know. Mind the horses.
Yes, sir.
Harrison. Harrison!
You awake, sir?
I shouldn't have gone to sleep.
You just didn't have no choice, Captain. Once you drank that cool water, you was plumb through.
What's that? Horses?
No, they're not making a sound, sir. I hobbled them before I set out.
Shh. Wait a minute. There's horses, all right. Sounds like they're riding this way.
Well, I sure don't hear a thing. Could be you got some fever, Captain Quince. Some folks hear things when they got fever.
You keep listening, you'll hear them.
Yes, sir. Well, what I was going to say was, while you was resting so easy like, I set out and took a look around. There's a cabin, sir, not more than a couple of 100 yards away.
They're coming from the north.
Yeah, I can hear them now. Could be cavalry, Captain. They move south long ahead of us.
Not cavalry. Look through the trees.
Engines.
Dog soldiers.
Captain, we better make for that cabin.
No, we're better off here. Trees will hide us. Unless they already know we're here. Lie flat, Harrison. If they start through the trees, fire.
Can you handle that carbine, sir?
Yeah, I can.
They're making for us, sir. Sure seeing.
Now wait them out.
They're right at the tree, Captain.
Easy.
I'm sure not keen on them seeing me first.
Shut up, Harrison. They're riding right along the tree line. Going on south.
I can't make them out anymore. You see them?
Now they've gone on past the thicket. I can't see them.
Man, that was closer.
Still close. They stopped.
You want I should get our horses, sir?
I do not. Can you hear them?
They ain't moving as I can tell. I counted 6, Captain.
6. That cabin, where is it?
Near as I can tell, that's where they are, sir. It's that direction, not more than a couple hundred yards away. Oh, I tell you, sir, that's a welcome sound.
You were talking about a deserted cabin, Harrison?
Not a living thing around. Likely been that way for years.
You'll have to near carry me. I can't mount again.
Just you don't worry yourself, Captain. I'll take right good care of you. Not 10 more steps. You can make it, sir.
I don't know, Harrison.
You just lean heavy now. We'll get there. You'll make out fine.
You come no closer.
Well, ma'am, there's no cause for shooting. We're your kind, white folks.
I'll judge about the shooting. What ails him?
He's all shot up and weak. Ma'am, I'm not even asking for a hand, but I gotta put him down inside.
Army?
2nd Cavalry, Fort Laramie.
Harrison, I think I...
Captain Quince! Captain, you all right, sir?
Is he dead?
No, ma'am, not yet. Would you just try to help? Put that shotgun down and help a body?
How are you on food?
Oh, tin of jerky, maybe.
Blankets? Shot? You got anything?
I got an awful sick captain here, ma'am. That's what I got. And I'm lifting him up right now and taking him in there.
How much money you got?
I don't know. A little.
Hand it over.
Once we inside...
I tell you, son, I'd as soon shoot the both of you as jaw this way. I want your money and your guns.
I don't rightly know how you stand yourself.
His money, too.
I'm bringing him inside now.
Not for long. For this little bit of money.
Open this door for me.
You're another weak one, are you?
My arm's full of logs.
Put 'em by the stove and quit your whimpering. Soft bellies, the lot of you.
How is he?
Ask him. He's only pretending to sleep.
Captain,
You can't fool her, Harrison. Don't try.
you gave me a fright, sir. I wasn't sure you was going to come around.
I'll be all right.
She get the bullet?
Yeah. Yeah, she got it.
I see new cubs are tougher hide.
Captain, she took everything we had. Jerky, guns, money. What kind of white woman is she?
You'd best quiet him. I've buried 4 husbands, 20 children. A couple of strangers don't faze me.
Better get some sleep, Harrison. She says you watched me all night.
You sure you're all right?
I'm fine. Now go to sleep. That's an order.
Yes, sir.
Four husbands, ma'am.
Outlived 'em. But they was men, regular men. Didn't go around sirring every other man and mamming women folk.
Yeah, they weren't in the army.
Indeed they wasn't. No call for the army in those days. Mr. Pelfrey and me lived as peaceable as could be with the Indian folk. We come here peaceable, me and Mr. Pelfrey.
When was that?
In the 30s.
Things are different then.
No different than with Mr. Griffith, Mr. Albright, even later on with Mr. Netherton. Yeah, there was lessons to learn in the West in them days. Eat the porridge.
Much obliged, ma'am.
Hattie.
How's that?
Hattie, I say. Hattie Pelfrey. I go by that. I can't abide being called ma'am.
Oh.
I lean toward Hattie.
Hattie, you live alone, middle of Arapaho country. How do you manage?
I come by your guns. Such little money you had. Sometimes it's food, sometimes robes. I'll take what I can get. No matter to me if it's settlers or scouts or army folks.
Or Arapaho?
Folks don't find Hattie less'n they lost, or half dead. It'd open your eyes to see what they part with,
You always greet 'em with a shotgun.
if need be.
Before we came here last evening, a band of Arapaho braves stopped here.
I got good arrows, strong bows, rifles. Even a couple of buffalo guns off a hunter broke his leg down the canyon.
They got a camp near here, the Arapaho?
You got something more to give me?
Oh, Harrison said you cleaned us out.
You're getting full measure.
What's going on? My ring. Hey, you can't have that.
But I got it. Well, I ain't had a pretty for a spell, and that's a fact.
A man ain't safe sleeping here. I bought that ring myself in St. Louis.
Oh, it'll fit fine once I wrap some twine around it. Body's fingers thin with age.
Next you'll be picking my bones, you old buzzard. Mind your tongue!
Give him his ring back, Hattie.
Not likely.
Captain Quince, what says you can't hit an old woman when she's so contrary?
Oh, for one thing, she's got a shotgun.
I'd soon use it as jaw with you.
You take his ring, you give us something, Hattie.
I do admire a pretty. Clean forgot the bright feeling they give you.
Our guns for the ring, Hattie, that's fair.
I come by your horses down the creek this morning. They're grazing on my grass, swilling my water. The pretty's to pay for that.
Captain, I better see to them mounts.
You'll stay with the sick and ailing. I'll see to the horses.
You saying he can't leave the cabin?
Not alive, he can't.
Why, you
She means it, Harrison.
I do that. Now, I've got tending to do. Outside. No need peering around for your rifles whilst I'm gone. You won't find them.
Captain Quince, we gotta move out of here.
We need horses to do it. Here, you steady me.
You ain't fit to stand yet, sir.
Just you stand still. Yeah. We'd have to crawl once we're outside anyway. I can manage to the door.
Like as not, she's just crouched out there waiting for us.
It's worth a chance. We may not get another.
Yes, sir.
Get the door. Get on your belly. Move small through this brush. Toward the stream. Can you see her?
No, sir.
Stream. How far is it?
A good 50 yards. Maybe more.
I don't see the horses.
Not yet, sir.
Flatten, Harrison. It's Arapaho.
She come out of those trees by the water, sir. She's talking to them Indians.
Don't even breathe. She's going back toward the trees.
Yeah. But there ain't a sign of our horses, sir.
No sense trying to go it without them. We'll have to go back.
To the cabin?
Without guns or horses, we're no good out here, Harrison. Come on.
What you reckon she's done with them, Captain?
That woman, she might have eaten them.
I'll steady you for the walk, sir.
I give a lot for some of her strength right now.
You think I could find him alone?
Get yourself killed doing it? It's no good, Harrison. We'll have to wait.
You're just about as foolish as can be, ain't you? Crawling around in the brush out there. What's ID?
Fresh air,
Got
Hattie.
no guns, no food. There's Arapaho all around. You don't think too good of your hides, do you?
Where are the horses, Hattie?
Your color's coming back some.
You heard the captain. What about the horses?
They come right high in these parts, youngin'. I could get me a passel of things. Trading horses.
You're real friendly with the Arapaho, Hattie.
They treat me good. Of course, they know Mr. Pelfrey and me come peaceable to their country. Not to run 'em off what rightly is their land.
You never seen them at the killing? White women, babies, no matter to them.
You ever ask yourself who started it all? I seen it happen. The whites and their guns moving in. Wasn't pretty work they did. Women and children, too.
They let you live here. It's got to be a reason.
He come here like you, full of shot, ailing. White men's doing. Mr. Pelfrey and me, we took him in, tended him. He was a young chief then. But Standing Bear never forgot. Not in all these years. He's as near to a relation I got.
You're from another age, Hattie. You and Standing Bear.
You got anyone? A wife?
No wife.
Mother, then?
I got her memory. Pair of her earrings, that's all.
Not on you. I'd have found 'em.
They're back at Fort Laramie.
Oh, that's a pity. Yeah, that's a pity.
Think you can get the guns without waking her?
I can't make out good with no light. But I can fight an old woman in the dark.
Not long till sunup. This may be our last chance. Easy now.
Now, that's just close enough. Stealing up on an old woman. What kind of men are you? I don't mind shooting. A bit.
You're a witch. That's what you are. Seeing in the dark, hearing. You no kind of woman at all.
Maybe not now, young'un. But I was once. More woman than you could imagine.
Now shut up, both of you. Someone's coming.
Come earlier than I said.
It's probably them same Injuns again, Captain.
Yeah.
Now get. Back where you belong. Over there, to your beds. Welcome.
Captain, I had my gun. I'd blow us all up before I'd let them take us.
I know. Maybe I'd help you.
She's out there right now. Trading for us. You know that.
Get ready. Someone's coming.
Now, that side of beef will last me the winter and more. Gift for my friend, Standing Bear.
For us, Hattie?
Now then, you're worth a sight more than that.
They're riding off, Captain.
You sparing us, Hattie? For what?
Sparing you?
You didn't tell them about us.
They didn't ask.
You acting human so sudden-like. After near scaring us to death.
I ain't gonna miss this young'un, that's a fact. I'd soon keep company with a bawling calf. I tell you, I'm bone brittle with you two around.
Well, we'd be glad to get out of your way. Trade for guns, our horses, and a cut of your new beef.
Been thinking about them ear bobs
I've been thinking about our guns.
under my bed. There's 2 horses saddled at the spring. Now, them ear bobs.
They're back at Fort Laramie, Hattie. You mean to ride back with us?
I gotta watch who I'm seen with.
Yeah. Well, I might get back your way someday. If I do, I'll bring him to you.
For these old ears. Yeah, here, young'un. Pretties ain't for me, not no more.
I'll take my ring, ma'am. And thank you. But I ain't even pretending to understand you.
If you was regular men, you'd find yourself a woman. Pretties don't belong on a man's hand, locked up at no fort. Now, us women folk, it gives us that right feeling, having a pretty.
Fort Laramie is produced and directed by Norman MacDonald and stars Raymond Burr as Lee Quince, Captain of Cavalry, with Vic Perrin as Sergeant Gorse. The script was specially written for Fort Laramie by Kathleen Height, with sound patterns by Bill James and Ray Kemper, musical supervision by Amerigo Marino. Featured in the cast were Virginia Gregg, Sam Edwards, and John Daner.
Company, tension! Dismiss!
Next week, another transcribed story of the Northwest frontier and the troopers who fought under Lee Quince, Captain of Cavalry. Anyone who has ever been helped by the Red Cross can tell you how important help is when the need arises. And everyone who is a member of the American Red Cross can tell you how much deep satisfaction comes with knowing you have helped provide aid in an emergency. Make your investment in humanitarianism soon. CBS Radio urges you to join and serve your local Red Cross chapter. Your membership and your contributions make all Americans neighbors in a time of need.